Shooting season is well and truly upon us, and we have had a few people come to our branches and ask what the best course of action is for a dog that you take shooting with you in order for that dog to never run out of energy. So in this video I am going to explain to you best tips to make sure that your dog never runs out of energy. Now it's shooting season, you are out and about, you are walking up and down, and you are out there trying to do your job, and you have a little furry friend with you, and you want your dog to be as energetic and as focused as possible on the task. How do you use nutrition to make sure your dog is 100% there with you? Now there's two very important things you need to pay attention to. One is hydration, and the second one is nutrition and nutrition quality. Now hydration is arguably one of the most important things whenever it comes to cognitive function in your dog. Making sure the dog has regular access to water, and then you take maybe a travel bowl or something where you can put water in, and the dog can, in between shoots, drink as much as they want, is absolutely key. So always make sure that hydration is on point for your dog. The second one and most important thing is nutrition. What should we be feeding our dogs in order for them to perform at the highest level? And here we really want to focus on meat and the quality of the ingredients we are feeding our dogs. Now, working dogs do not need any grains or any high glycemic carbohydrates whatsoever. So make sure that for everything you are giving the dog, on the back of the bag there is no rice, no wheat, no barley, no corn, or no soy. Those are all inflammatory ingredients and take away from your dog's ability to focus on the task. Make sure the first few ingredients are high quality meat sources. What do we want to see? We want to see freshly prepared free range chicken, we want to see fresh lamb, we want to see salmon, and we want to see wholesome ingredients on the back of every bag of food that we give our dog. When it comes to meat sources, I would recommend that you feed the dog something highly digestible in the morning and something a bit richer at night. Why? We want our dog to be not lethargic whatsoever during the day, but have enough energy to be able to run up and down that field all day. My favorite lean meat that are very highly digestible in the morning would be either turkey or chicken. Those are highly digestible proteins that will ensure your dog is truly and well energized all throughout the day. And at night, I want to feed the dog maybe some salmon or something a bit richer. We can give the dog deer, we can give the dog lamb, we can give the dog pork, and we can give the dog whatever we want which is a bit richer than chicken or turkey. Why? We want their bodies to replenish. We want those heavy nutrients to sit there overnight, and we want our dogs to be prepared for the next day. And in order for our dogs to be prepared for the next day, we need to make sure that those quality ingredients and those fattier meats are present, but at night, not in the morning. When it comes to quantities, I really do want you to up the amount of food you give your dog, especially if your dog is up and down all day, if the weather is horrible, the field is boggy. What we want to do is make sure our dog is not lethargic at all. So I would up the amount of food we give our dog. How much by? It really does depend. As a generic rule of thumb, if we are feeding our dogs kibble, we want to feed them between 5 and 10% more, and if we want to feed our dogs raw, we want to feed them between 2 and 3 percentage points more. By making sure we feed our dogs properly whenever we are out in the field all day, every day, we will ensure the dog performs at the highest level and it's always switched on. What we do not want to see lethargic dogs and dogs that aren't very well fed whatsoever. If you are feeding your dog raw dog food, I would highly recommend you up the quantities 2 to 3%. Especially if you're feeding raw, I would highly recommend you up the quantity of the food you give the dog, and you are not shy about it. A lot of people tend to be a bit more reluctant to feed the dog a bit more when it comes to raw dog food. But if your dog is out and about every single day, we want to make sure that we are fueling that dog as much as possible. And when it comes to raw dog food, even if you feed the dog a bit too much, in your opinion, that would be okay, because raw dog food will contain natural moisture. So you are going to be combining water and high quality protein for your dog. So that is a winning combination. If you are thinking about supplements, if you are thinking about treats, I would not really put too much emphasis on any supplements whatsoever. We have been asked a number of times about supplements, and really they are not worth it. Always make sure you spend the money where it matters, and that is in good food. That is the most important thing. When it comes to treats, if you must, take a bag of treats with you. Make sure they are high digestible protein, and make sure they are single protein. What do I mean by single protein? 100% chicken, 100% sprats, 100% deer, 100% game. 100% of one single protein. We don't want to give the dog any gravy bones or anything like that, because those will be full of cereals. And what we want our dog is to be very well fed. In order for our dog to be very well fed, make sure you read the ingredients on the back of everything you give your working dog. I'm going to leave down below a few of the things I give my dogs whenever we take them shooting, so that you can see what sort of things you might need whenever you're out with your dog. But if you follow those instructions and you make sure the dog is well hydrated and well fed and fed enough, shooting season will definitely be a success. And if you want to know more about nutrition, I recommend you watch this video next.